Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous, fabulous TV show. Tonya.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're on the show today. We are so lucky to have Dylan Raymond on the show. Yay! Hey, Dylan.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Oh my goodness, he is amazing. And you know, we have so many women in our show, and it's great to have some testosterone in the house. So, yay! And he is amazing. He's going to wow your toes. So just hold on, and we'll be with him in just a minute. I want to give you the Tonya's tip for today. And that is, I want you to start diversifying your friends, right? I love connecting with new people. You know, connecting with people like Dylan, connecting with all the people that I have on this show, right? These are the people you need to be connected to. So when you go out to network, you're going to a networking group, a chamber of commerce, an association meeting, a conference, wherever you're meeting new people, do not sit with the people you know. I see it all the time. Husbands and wives sitting together, best friends, people who have been networking together for years. Networking is about connecting to new people. And you're missing out on fabulous people that you get to meet by staying with the people you already know. If you're going someplace all by yourself, the best thing to do is to room with someone. All the conferences usually have a way to connect you with someone to be your roomie. And I have built such huge, friendships with people by being with complete strangers for a night or two. So it's a great way to build your database of incredible new friends and partners, people that are collaborators that's going to change your life because they get to know you. So sit with someone new today. And that's why I wanted to bring, Dylan on today, because there is so much diversity out there. And he has had so much diversity in his background that I wanted him to bring on, especially, getting through some of the blockages in your life. He's exactly the type of guy that's pushed through that. So how are you doing, Dylan?
I am doing very, very good, Tonya. A very busy week for me. In fact, I've been on the road coming from Austin and been to Killeen, Texas. And in fact, I'm actually in Nashville. I'll be heading to Houston here shortly. So it's just awesome.
Right. It's fun to go out and meet new people, isn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, I make it my business to try to connect with someone new, at least 5 to 10 new people. So I met some people in Killeen, I met some people in Austin, and I met some people in Nashville. So I'm excited about doing that.
And what's great about being a speaker is I find it's, yes, I'm going out and I'm making money and I'm changing lives, but it's getting to meet all these new people that I would have never got to meet ever.
I tell you, and for me, I was, born and raised in New York City, in our inner cities of Bedford-Stuyvesant, public housing, so I was in that little circle, that circle where you didn't think outside of the box, outside of your zip code, and just I did what my parents did. I lost my father at a very, very young age, so left my mother, to raise 6 boys on her own.
Wow.
And it's very, very challenging. So when you talk about change and getting outside your comfort zone, it was like, how do I get outside of my situation? Public housing. Got out of high school at a very early age of 16,
Wow.
and just lost because I didn't see success or anybody in my family that was successful. Especially a male role model. Then I decided after I got out, I decided to join the military. And that's kind of the ticket that kind of got me out. I mean, the military is one of the largest diverse organizations where you have an opportunity to connect with individuals. In fact, my best man, I've known for 25 years, I met him in the Army. I had an opportunity to travel and connect with individuals and spread that net, because I believe the wider the net, I can pretty much go into a lot of cities or a lot of states and call individuals, say, hey, I'm in town. and they'll let me know it's insulting if I didn't stop by there, you know.
Yes.
So
And I
I got
know for, a lot of people, they get so, you know, out in their comfort zone. They don't want to kind of reach out. And because it's uncomfortable. The first time I started really kind of going outside the group of people that even looked like me was kind of difficult in the speaking world, even though I've had friends that have been every ethnicity you can imagine, just because I'm drawn to uniqueness. But a lot of people like they've never left their hometown. They still live like down the street from where they, grew up.
exactly, and when you think that's all that's all that's available for you. But when you get outside of that and get people that know and learn about people that maybe have more experience, somebody that can stretch you to take you and help you to get to the next level. And that was kind of one of the things that happened to me. Got married at a young age. Um, Unfortunately, it didn't work out the first time. But things do happen. So I mean, I've been through several different changes and being able to transition. Not allowing those difficult times and difficult moments to hamper you. So in return, took that opportunity to figure out how to be successful in that, and move on in my life. I had some challenges with finance, and I think a lot of people do. So I've had the ability to transition out of those things, and that's why I've been termed as the transition expert. I've gone through coming out of the military and trying to figure out how do I get into the civilian sector? How do I transition my talent, my skills, my abilities? And just to piggyback on what you talked about, the tips, it was me connecting with individuals, learning, expanding my reach, reaching out like that eagle and spreading, and being able to touch individuals and connect. In fact, my trip here that I've been just traveled on, I had an opportunity to speak to the most amazing individuals in the world, those that represent 1% of the population that served in the military. So we had a job fair, and you get a lot of these guys come up to you and say, "Hey, what can you do for me?" And first thing I talk to them about is, "Hey, are you on LinkedIn?"
Yeah.
Because LinkedIn connecting to individuals that will be able to, because it's not what you know, it's who you know and what they know about you. So that's very, very exciting. Being able to help people to transition.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge population of people that are in transition, going either from a job to being an entrepreneur, or maybe they're retiring, or they're coming out of the military, and a lot of people have that now what, or how do I do the next phase of my life,
Exactly. And I found when I came off of active duty after a tour in Iraq in 2005, I felt kind of lost. I had a lot of experience and just trying to figure out how do I make this thing happen. And as a result of being unemployed for 4 months, that was very painful. We have a family to feed, and I know you talked about testosterone, but we have a lot of estrogen in my house, so I have to provide for my family. But being able to figure that out, so I had to connect with individuals. They helped me, they shaped me, and then the pain of going through 4 months of unemployment actually sparked me to get out and guess what? Meet new individuals, because I just moved from New York to Houston, didn't know anybody. But I know my motto is anybody but a dead body. Stick a nose. If it fogs up, I wanted to talk with them. And
Yes.
people are genuinely willing to help you if you are willing to step out of that zone and connect with individuals and just ask for help.
Exactly. And you don't know who people know. And that's the part that I think is so challenging, because I'm always telling people, they're like, "Oh, I'm trying to find a job." And I'm like, "Well, go network." You don't know whose husband the Mary Kay lady is, or whatever. You don't know who people know. And so you just ask, "Hey, if you're looking for a job, or you just need help. If you're an entrepreneur and you're like, I don't know how to use Facebook, or I don't know how to, whatever, just ask somebody. And there are people that are so generous. I'm always blown away by people's generosity.
Yeah, and I find myself actually extending to make sure that I touch those individuals, connect with them first, and then once I connect with them, I can meet them wherever they are, and which is important, not to either go below where they're at or above where they're at. Just meet them where they're at, develop that rapport, connect with them, and then you can take them and run with them. So that's kind of what my strong points is to be able to coach that individual, but to let them know that what they do matters, that they have value. It's just to be able to tap into that and to be able to bring that out.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy that, connecting, and that's, again, that's one of my strong points.
And I think a lot of things that keep people from reaching out is the fears that they have that's bottled up inside. If I ask somebody for help, they're going to think I'm stupid and don't know how to use Facebook or how to send out an email or whatever it is.
Exactly. And I guess that's where my passion lies. I can help quite a bit of people. I think my niche is in the military community. I mean, the military from the day one, they teach you to be accountable. You can't show any weakness. You have to make it happen, figure it out. And that, especially when I looked in the eyes of those transitioning service members to see, them trying to figure it out, because the military tells you, hey, you're an E3, you got 7 years experience, this is your pay. We're going to move you from California to Colorado. So they've never been in a position to take charge of their lives, So that's one of the things that I try to ensure and connect with them and let them know, hey, take charge of your life, and understand your value and what you bring to the organization. But the biggest thing is, you get so this a personality, or being aggressive and being trying to dot the I's and cross the T's. That's why I like the Public Speakers Association, because you can be imperfect, and we're all striving to be better. So when I talk to them, I say, hey, it's okay to ask for help, because you're transitioning into another culture, and a different culture, and you have what it takes to be successful.
Well, I know, I came up with the rule, that everyone has to be imperfect who are members, part of PSA, not only for myself, because I was tired of trying to, make everyone happy by being this perfect role model. And I'm not, I'm just human, But
Exactly.
Growing up, my dad was extremely, almost militarian, he was like, everything has to be perfect. If you vacuum, you can't miss a speck, and who can live like that? And I always felt like there was something wrong with me because I couldn't do everything perfect. I had straight A's, that wasn't perfect enough, And when you're put into that kind of position, where do you go from there? And so once I stopped trying to do this perfect, scenario and be this perfect speaker and everything, and just be who I am, man, doors opened up, things started happening. It was incredible, the transformation within myself and then outside of myself.
That's true, and I believe there's strength in identifying your shortcomings. And I look at that as an opportunity. It's always an opportunity for improvement. So if you trying to maintain a 4.0, where do you improve at? And the pressure and the stress to try to maintain that 4.0. 100% of the time, it's just too stressful. So if you allow yourself to understand that you do have some shortcomings, we do all have shortcomings, but you look at that as an opportunity to grow in an area and develop in an area that you can then turn that around and be more valuable to the world. And I always tell people, hey, don't rob me of your talent, skills, and ability and what you was created to do.
Nice. I know I went and spoke for a group in Florida that was mostly of Haitian background.
Okay.
And the ladies, they were all so wonderful, and they had so much energy, and they were constantly dancing to this fabulous music. And it was a completely different, environment for me. But I just fit in now, wherever I go. And I was shocked because she was going to have apple cider, and she needed little champagne glasses to pour the apple cider in. And I'm like, and she was already, already way over budget. I said, don't worry about it. Just have them poured into a regular cup. Nobody needs a special cup for apple cider. And she's like, oh, I've never heard of such a thing. Everybody wants it into a champagne glass. And I'm like, wow, what a different culture that you have to have champagne glasses for apple cider. I mean, in my culture, we certainly don't care what our apple cider comes in. But she was also shocked that I had that experience, that it didn't matter to me. And she expected me to really want this, kind of loveliness. And so, a lot of times our expectations of people, isn't really the reality of people.
Exactly. And you strive so hard to try to be perfect. I mean, and it's okay. It's okay. And that's one of the things that is probably about close to 500 individuals I had an opportunity to speak to over these last 4 days, and just to be able to connect with them and let them know that it's okay, don't value, and a lot of them connect what they do to what they want to do. And it's like, hey, what do you want to do? Well, I just want a job. Okay, well, where would you like to work? Anywhere. Okay, well, they could solve that problem. We can go right down there and get a broom, and you can stay local here, But then I use that again. I connect with them and use that as an opportunity to tell them to understand you have to know where you're going so I can give you directions to get there. Give me a zip code at least.
Well, because a lot of times people never even ask themselves what they want. Other people have told them what they should be wanting, or what they should be doing, or what they should be moving towards. And they never actually stop and listen to their own voice and say, what do I want out of my life?
Exactly. And that's very key, And I tell them, I say, help me help you. And my motto is, I like to teach you how to fish, because if I give you the fish, you're only going to eat it for a day. But if I show you how to fish, you can eat whenever you want, I like to be able to coach you to do that. And a lot of times, if you just give them everything, even with my girls, I try to make sure that I coach and inspire them, and also let them say it's okay to make a mistake. I always say, hey, what did you learn in the process? Okay, so now you understand what you can do going forward to be a better person. So
you went from a whole house full of boys now to a whole house full of girls. That must be a shocker.
It is. So I'm constantly in training. Daddy, you don't understand. No, I really don't understand.
That's what my husband was with my daughter. He was like, why is she crying again? Yesterday she loved her best friend. Now she's broken up. And then the next day she's going to be, best friends again. He goes, I don't get it. Of course, then my son, he does things. I'm like, what? Oh my goodness, that's exciting. Well, so what's one of the things that you see people really struggle with the most when they're making that transition?
The greatest struggle that I see that individuals, one, knowing, is they try to fit everything, try to understand what do they bring to the table. In the military, we do so many. We're jack of all trades and master of none. So I've seen resumes that covered every piece of white paper on. It's like, now I see QR scanners on there. I see pictures. I see LinkedIn, emails, things that really doesn't matter, So the one is the resume, and I always tell them, you want to know, put it up front, bottom line up front. How can you solve the hiring officials' problem? Because they post a job because they have a problem. And guess what? You have the skill set to fix their problem. You just got to be able to communicate what how to solve their problem. And don't anticipate. And a lot of times they anticipate. But if you're an electrician's an electrician. Mechanic's a mechanic. Officer is a project manager. Everything you do is a project manager, but you got to be able to solve the employer's problem. What's in it for them, although it's what's in it for you, and you'll be successful from there. So that's a struggle, trying to figure out how to take their skills, understand what they bring to the table, the soft skills. It doesn't matter if you're a mechanic, but you're also a project manager as well, because before you go into a job, you're going to analyze. You're not going to just jump in there and turn wrenches. You're going to start asking questions and figure out what some of the issues are before you. How long has it been doing that?
Right.
Did the light come on? So things like that. So that's one of the biggest struggles.
Yeah, I see that with speakers, all the time, is they're like, I don't know what to speak on. And I'm like, you're kidding. Look at your background. And then they make, either they overcomplicate who they are, right? And they've got all of these words and numbers and letters behind their names that nobody cares about, instead of simplifying it so people go, oh, that's what you do.
Exactly.
Well, fantastic. And I know, Dylan, that you have a great offer for our listeners. What is that?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Tonya. Well, for all the people that's out there listening, I would love to invite you to visit my website and get a free copy of my book. And my website, I wrote a book, published it last year. It's a transitional guide for service members. It is called Rucksack to Briefcase, and it's a service guide, transitional service guide for service members and their families. And you can visit the website. It's dylaneRaymond.com. I will spell that for you. That's DYLANERaymond. Make sure you include the D, and that's dylaneRaymond.com. And I'd also, because I do coaching, I do resume services, I do interviewing coaching as well, would love to give you a free 15-minute consultation and just see how we can just learn a little bit about you. I'd love to be a part of your inner circle, circle of influence, as well as connect with me. And what I do is put out tips, daily tips or weekly tips on how you can assist you with the transition process. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'd love you to connect with me on LinkedIn. We have a Facebook page as well, Rucksack to Briefcase. And I'm also on Twitter, and it's at I am Dylan Raymond. I am Dylan Raymond. That's on Twitter. And you can also reach me. Phone is 832-301-5110. I'd love to connect with you.
Perfect. All right, everyone. So take advantage of that. Oh my gosh, you get his book. And if you know somebody that could really utilize that information, send them over that link. Tell them about his book. If you've got a family member or someone that, has just come out of the military or is planning on coming out of the military, get connected to Dylan so that he can help. And then I also want to invite y'all all to the Public Speakers Conference, June 14th through the 17th in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to have a blast. And
I'm excited.
Have got to be there. If you're just thinking about being a speaker, we have 6- and 7-figure speakers that are going to give you real training, and we will not be recording it because every single speaker usually charges between $500 and $2,500 and sometimes more for what they're going to do the training on at this event as kind of a give back to me, and I asked them to. Plus, we've got, if you already are a speaker and you're looking at how can you get booked, I have people who are actually booking people for their radio shows, their conferences, something that they're looking for a speaker for. So you don't want to miss it. We have a blast, and you get a free VIP ticket right now, as long as they last, to go to our VIP event on Tuesday night. So jump in, use the coupon code Tonya's TV show, and you get $100 off your show for the attendance to come to the conference. So find out all about it at Public Speakers with an S conference.com. And I want to see you there. I want to give you a big hug and say hello and get to know you. That's what it's all about. I'm not the kind that just flies in and flies out, and you don't ever get to say hello to me. I'm there the whole time and I want to get to know you. So connect with Dylan, connect with myself, and I will see y'all next time on the show. Thanks, Dylan, for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Tonya.
Yay. Bye, everybody.